Welcome back to Echoes of Vietnam, the podcast where we travel beyond the tourist brochures and step into the living heartbeats of local cultures across the country. Today, I'm inviting you on a journey, not to a famous city, not to a crowded market or a grand monument, but to a quiet mountain village where time breathes differently. We're heading deep into the rugged highlands of Quang Nam Province, about 80 kilometers west of the ancient town of Hoi An, past the lantern-lit streets, past the rice fields and riverbanks, until the roads grow narrow, the forests grow dense, and the clouds hang low over the hills. Our destination is Bho Hoong Village, home of the Ko Tu people. Bho Hoong isn't just a village on the map, it's a space suspended between past and present. Nearly 600 people live here, and almost all of them belong to the Ko Tu ethnic group, also known as Sa Tu or Ha people. Only a handful of residents, less than 30, come from outside ethnic backgrounds. That's why stepping into Bho Hoong feels like stepping into a preserved fragment of history. The Ko Tu language is spoken everywhere. Traditional clothes aren't just worn for festivals, they appear casually, even on ordinary afternoons. And most remarkably, more than half of the households still practice traditional crafts. If you walk slowly through the village, you'll hear the thump-thump of a wooden loom before you even see it. Inside, you'll find a grandmother rhythmically weaving brocade, her fingers moving with a tempo learned in childhood. The patterns she creates aren't random, they carry legends. Some tell of sacred animals. Some represent mountain spirits. Some are prayers woven into fabric. A few houses away, a young man sits cross-legged in the shade, bending long strips of bamboo into rattan backpacks, just like the ones Ko Tu hunters have carried for generations. No factories. No electricity-powered tools. Only memory and muscle, passing knowledge down the family line, one strand at a time. At the village center stands the soul of Bho Hoong the Gul, a magnificent communal house built entirely from wood, bamboo, and palm leaves. Its steep roof pierces the sky like a mountain, and carvings of animals, lizards, birds, deer, dance across its surface like silent guardians. The Gul is not just architecture. It is identity shaped into shelter. This is where villagers gather to make decisions. Where disputes are settled. Where love stories are sung. Where warriors once shared hunting tales by firelight. And today, where visitors are welcomed, not as outsiders, but as temporary family. Step inside, and you'll smell the smoke of old fires mingling with the scent of bamboo mats. You might hear someone tuning a gong or hammering a drum. Here, laughter floats freely and silence carries respect. The Ko Tu build stilt houses with sharply angled roofs, designed to survive windstorms that rush down from the mountains. But beyond practicality, there's symbolism. The roof climbing high into the sky represents human connection to the spiritual world. The sturdy stilts grounding the house into the earth represent harmony with nature. Every carving on the beams tells a story, and even the number of steps leading up to the house follows traditional belief. Many travelers choose to spend the night in one of these mul houses. And almost all of them say the same thing: they expected an accommodation, but found a home. Imagine this. You're lying on a bamboo bed covered with hand-woven blankets. The night is cool. Outside, the forest hums softly, like it's breathing. No streetlights. Just moonlight dripping through wooden slats. In the morning, you wake up not to car horns, but to roosters cackling and fire crackling beneath a pot of rice. Breakfast isn't a buffet. It's an invitation. Maybe grilled fish caught from the river an hour ago. Maybe jungle herbs sautéed with wild mushrooms. Maybe rice wine, if your host decides you're brave enough for an early toast. Life in Bho Hoong is guided by rituals, not as performances, but as living conversations with ancestors and nature. If you're fortunate, you might witness the Buffalo Stabbing Festival. Don't let the name shock you, it isn't about violence. It's an ancient ceremony of gratitude. The buffalo is treated with honor, draped in woven cloth, adorned with feathers. It becomes a messenger between humans and the spirit world. During the ritual, gongs thunder across the valley, echoing like waves of thunder. Men dance in circles, stomping the earth rhythmically, as if waking up the spirits below. Women follow, swaying gently, their brocade skirts flickering like flames. It's not a spectacle, it's survival in the form of song. Then there's the New Rice Festival, celebrating the first harvest of the season. Villagers gather with baskets of freshly harvested grains, thanking the land for feeding them. It's a moment of joy, humbleness, and unity, a reminder that food is not taken, it is given. In Bho Hoong, culture isn't locked behind museum glass. It's placed in your hands. A villager might hand you a traditional crossbow, smile mischievously, and challenge you to hit a wooden target. He'll teach you how hunters once stalked wild boar through misty forests. You'll feel the tension of the bowstring and understand that survival once depended on that single pull. Or you might sit beside an elderly woman as she patiently guides your fingers across threads of red, yellow, and green. You'll try weaving your first line of brocade and suddenly realize that craftsmanship is meditation. You might join a group trekking along a forest trail, barefoot in the river, splashing through cool water while learning which plants can heal wounds and which ones can be eaten raw. Evenings often end with a shared meal around a fire. No formal dining table, just bamboo trays, sticky rice wrapped in leaves, and whatever the land offered that day. Conversation flows not in perfect grammar, but in laughter, eye contact, and gestures. People often ask, why do travelers keep coming back to Bho Hoong? It's not just because the scenery is beautiful, though it is. It's not just because the traditions are unique, though they truly are. They return because the village teaches us something we've forgotten. It reminds us that community doesn't need Wi-Fi, that identity doesn't need branding, that joy can be made from firewood, river water, and human connection. The Ko-Tu don't just preserve culture, they live it. Not for visitors, not for tourism, but because it is their heartbeat. And when you spend time with them, even just a day, you begin to feel your own heartbeat sync with theirs. So as we leave Bho Hoong today, I'll end with a thought. In many places, travelers look at culture from the outside, as spectators. But here, in this quiet village surrounded by mountains and echoing with gongs, you don't just observe culture. You enter it. You wear it. You taste it. You dance inside it. And when you leave, a part of it stays with you. Thank you for listening. Until the next journey, may your footsteps be curious and your heart always open.